Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I'm here in Bowie at Belair Stud Farm, and now it's actually a museum, but it may close in a few minutes, so I want to get in here and see some of the stuff. So I just happen to be down in the area and never know how my schedule is. But anyway, they have this nice little plaque that tells you about Belair Stable. Basically was saying that this stable was built in 1907, housed thoroughbreds as well as carriages and riding horses, and contains stalls, stacks, and a carriage house and the apartment for the stable master. It is now serves as part of the city of Bowie Museum's system. Now, some of the good horses that they had were Gallant Fox, who was a Triple Crown winner, and his son Omaha also was a Triple Crown winner, and Nashua, it was another horse that they owned. So that was the last great one, and that was 1955 when he ran. But let's see if we can get in here and see what we can see, and I can do a nice vlog. So the address of this is 2835. You know what this street is here, but let's see if we can get in here.
Hey, I'm Jordan. So this is the Belair stable. This was made, owned, and kind of upheld by the Woodward family in Belair, Maryland. It was made in like 1907, and they had a lot of racing horses here, a lot of purebreds here, especially Gallant Fox and Omaha, who won the Triple Crowns I'm forgetting the years.
Nashua. Well, that was, well, Nashua was 1955, but
but yeah, we keep it open as a museum today. We've got the library and the carriage house over on the side of the wall, and we have the caretaker's residence, where they had full-time caretakers of the horses and of the stables in general. And you can look around as you like. We also have an area in the corner in the that shed row that has more artifacts and history about the farming life during the Woodward era of the Belair.
okay. Do you know when this was turned over to the city of Bowie?
That would have been when Levitt sold his like ownership of Belair, which was it's like
In the 50s?
1890. No, that was when Woodward's bought it. So yeah, that would be the 60s.
In the 60s, okay.
Yes.
Wow. It's so weird to see these regular houses around this area and kind of put together that, hey, there were horses here and maybe a little training area, and there's nothing but houses in the area, residential area.
Well, that was because Levitt, they were developers mostly for like veterans. So this used to all be farms and forests. And of course, Levitt saw this large swath of open free land, cheap land basically, and said, hey, that'd be a great place for a community or housing. So he got that and turned basically everything he could into cheap housing.
Okay. All right, guys, this is a sign here that says a stable courtyard with the development of Belair at Bowie by Levitt and Sons. It is difficult today to imagine Belair stable long ago. Yeah, that's what I said. Situated in the middle of rolling fields filled with horses, cattle, and sheep. And there you have the barn right in front of me that I'm going to show you in the little area. But these are some of the pictures there. This is right there. So it's weird seeing that. Other barns dotted Belair Farm. The stable was used to house carriage horses for vehicles kept here, riding horses, and children's ponies. Thoroughbreds were stabled here on occasion. The courtyard was used as well for showing horses that might be for sale. So You can see right behind me, I have like this right here. So imagine no grass here and it's nothing but carble and all that stuff. But we're going to go inside and see Gallant Fox's, his stall and all that stuff. So, but look at this, all these houses that are right here behind. If you drove by, you wouldn't even know that this is here. Look at this. Look at all these houses here. You would hardly didn't even know that this is here. And of course, they would take some of their thoroughbreds, and Bowie race course is about 8 minutes away from here. Or 8 miles, I should say. This plaque talks about one of the farmhands here named Andrew Jackson, ranked high among the trusted stable workers of Belair. William Woodard considered him the consummate horseman. Here he is on the horse here. Said in 1900, James T. Woodward hired Jackson to work at Belair. William credited him for spotting Captain Hancock, a $60 stud horse that Woodward purchased from a farm in Cullington. Together with that stud, 3 $100 mares purchased by Woodward were the start of the 20th century Belair stud. Jackson worked at Belair until his death in 1932. He's laid to rest at White Marsh Cemetery, Sacred Heart Church. His tombstone was donated by William Woodard. Woodard's tremendous respect and admiration for Jackson was far demonstrated by his book, a memoir of Andrew Jackson Africanus, published privately in 1938. So it's a picture of him here. So I'll see if I can find where that particular cemetery is. So maybe I can get a picture of him. So this is cool. This is doing all things equine. Andrew was the trainer of record for Belair. First race win at Marlborough race course in 1909. The winning coat was something or something French by Captain Hancock out of Camremra, one of the $100 mares. But this is a picture of them, and that's cool that they have that here. Now it says when the first constructs the stable shed were made out of wood. William Woodard, concerned for the safety of his horses, elected to rebuild them from brick. The stone center in the courtyard replicates one installed by Woodard, a traditional iron jockey clad in Belair silks stood in its center. Today, grassy courtyard was originally covered in pea gravel. So all this was pea gravel here. Let's go see where Gallant Fox was. You can see this one here. It says Home of Champions. It's very cool. Some of the different halters or replicas of them, and even like an old box, or maybe this is original, I don't know, but check this out. Go payphone. Tack room. Groom sat near the stove oven in the room, cleaning and waxing horse tack. Telephone was ready in hand, and for both apartment and stable hands, and the party line number was 28F6. So here we are. So this has got Gallant Fox. This is where he was in here. And they got a statue in here. Not just a horse. So he's the second Triple Crown winner, meaning that he won at Churchill Downs and Pimlico, and also Belmont race courses. You can see this old sign on here. Wow. So I don't know where this sign originates from, but yeah, this is nice. This is the owner, William Woodard, and then his trainer, Sonny Fitzsimmons, and Earl Sandy was the jockey. But this was it right here. And this was commissioned by William Woodard Sr. This was 1932, it says. So this is a statue that was commissioned of Gallant Fox. And this is the stall of Nashua. Now he won the Preakness and he won the Belmont, and they have a picture over here of the great Eddie R. Carroll, 1955. So I don't know exactly why he didn't win the Derby, but man, could you imagine if they had another Triple Crown winner? But yeah, he won Flamingo Stakes, Florida Derby, Wood Memorial Stakes, Preakness, Belmont, Dwyer Stakes, Arlington Classic, match race with Swaps, won up beating Swaps, Suburban Handicaps, Monmouth Gold Cup, Jockey Gold Cup in 1956. So those are just some of the races. But yeah, so this as well. So yeah, I think Swaps won up beating them in the Kentucky Derby. This is a picture. This is right in front of you, the Nashua's Belmont plates. So that's what he was wearing during that time. So interesting that they have that. But yeah, this is a nice sign talking about like father, like son, Omaha and Gallant Fox. So Gallant Fox won a Triple Crown in 1935, and Omaha wound up winning, let's see the year of that, I can't see, but anyway, just awesome. They're the only father-son group to do that. So this is the carriage house right here. This is the other barn that you saw. So you can see two of the different carriages that they had. And this one you can see is made for the snow. And over here it says the Belair Stud Farm, Cradle of American Racing, Colonial Manor, where breeding for the turf was carried on for 3 centuries, laying the foundation of American thoroughbreds. Samuel Ogle, original owner, imported the stallion Spark, the filly Queen Mob, and other prize horses. His brother-in-law, Benjamin Tasker Jr., continued family tradition, bred Othello and Selima, prides of the colonies. Belair Stud Farm blood flows in the veins of almost every American racehorse of distinction. William Woodard Sr., last private owners, fielded Triple Crown winners, Gallant Fox 1930 and Omaha in 1935. Operation of the farm continued until 1955. So this is in 1957. It says the stable passed along with other estate buildings to the Levitt and Son Corporation, builders of Belair at Bowie. This suburban development surrounding the stable today. Levitt used the stable as a machine shop and landscaping supply depot. Over time, the stalls became nearly derelict. Levitt eventually sold the building to the city of Bowie for profit he would enjoy on building lots it occupied. So this was a look of it, and this is when they refurbished it, the museum today. So But wow, we almost lost a masterpiece, but I'm glad that this is here. And like I said, this was used as a machine shop for a while by the Levitt and Son. All right, guys, let's look in the caretaker's facility. So I heard that we can come inside here and check this out of where they, wow, this is nice. So there's the bath, one of those old-time bathtubs with the feet there. This is cool looking. The toilet, push button. It does say this is not a working bathroom, so so this is where Belair Stable Master. This is nice. Check out the old thing here, record player. This is nice. Nice chair too. Get 2 bedrooms. Oh, got the, guess you have to go to the bathroom or something. There you go. This is nice. Got the women's shoes there. The old dresser here. Got a little iron stove here. Just put your little coal in there. And some women clothes there. Hat box. Kerosene lamp. It's the kids' room. Check it out. This is nice. Got the bed and old stroller. Some of the toys. Look at that. This is nice. A little mirror. It's nice. Got a little straw hat like they used to wear back in the day. Let's see the dining room here. Nice. Dining room. This is nice. Sewing machine, the old timer type. Got a little radio over there. And let's see what the sink looks like. The kitchen. And the sink. They're cutting the vegetables and all that stuff too. Wow, this is nice. The old iron board, check it out. And then you have the old flat iron that you would warm up. Bread box. Look at the stove. This is cool. You got the wood right there. You got a basin over here. This is nice. Another basin, a little calendar, 1923 it says on there. So this is cool, very nice. This is another, the other stable that they have, but this is cool. They've got a horse whinnying over here. So when you walk in here, you're thinking there really is a horse. Listen. I don't know where that's coming from, but that's weird as anything. And you can see the courtyard out here, and that's where Gallant Fox was over there, and Nashua and Omaha. But check it out. That's cool. This is where some of the carriage horses were stabled over on this side here, and they've got the little statues over here and like this big one. This is cool that they got this in here. This big statue, so you're gonna have an idea of what it looked like of having horses in here, which is really cool to see this. And you can see the bag of oats that they have here. Fancy white oats from the California Milling Corporation. So this is cool, very cool. And another view of out here. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this tour of Belair Stud Farm, and a lot of people in the neighborhood, the tour guy inside told me that a lot of people don't even know that this was here. But like I said, these are two of the barns, and luckily they got turned into brick. And otherwise, if they were wood, they would not have survived this long because of Mr. Woodard deciding, okay, I want to turn this into brick and mortar instead of having wood. Now, I'll take you over to the mansion that the original owners that owned this lived at. It's right on top of the hill. So this was another stable area that they had. Like I said, they had this, and they had some slaves and all that stuff, and they had other barns that of course did not survive, that were made of wood. But let's go up and we'll take a look at the mansion right on top of the hill. That was the Ogle family during the colonial times that lived in. And like I said, this was their stable area right here. So guys, this is the Belair Mansion, and it was made around 1745, and this was owned by Governor Samuel Ogle, and he died in 1752. And it says he built Belair around 1745. The Georgian Palladian style house stands on a tobacco plantation that included gardens, vineyard, deer park, horse stables, and numerous dependencies. Ogle's son Benjamin served as Maryland's governor from 1798 to 1801. Belair House housed 5 generations of Ogles before passing out of the family ownership in 1871. James Woodard purchased the estate in 1898 and began to revive Belair. His nephew William Woodard, who passed away in 1953, inherited Belair in 1910, improving the estate and adding wings designed by New York architects William Adam Delano and Chester Eldridge. Woodard continued the history of Belair role as the cradle of thoroughbred racing. From Woodard's first track win in 1909, the Belair stud would acquire fame for the next half century. Purchased by William Levitt and Sons developers in 1957, Belair served as Bowie City Hall from 1964 to 1978. Belair was restored in 1995 and opened in conjunction with the Friends of Belair estate along with the stable as part of the City of Bowie Museum systems. So this is really, really nice. And of course, right down there and around the corner is the stable that you got to see. But let's go a little closer and see the mansion. But really, really interesting history. And as the guide said, that all these houses, I mean, all this was farmland. And then Levitt's and Son, he wound up selling off all this property, and now you see all these homes that are built here. But I'm glad that the Belair stud farm was able to stay as it is. So some historical place that, of course, was where Gallant Fox, Triple Crown winner in 1930, and then his son Omaha in 1935 were stabled. So it was really good to see that. So got history in your backyard, you don't even know anything about it. So this is really cool. So this is closed. I can't go inside today, but if you're in the area, you can come in here probably earlier in the days on the weekend. So they probably have different events here. So
In In today's densely populated Anacostia Trails heritage area, a visitor might be forgiven for not knowing that this area was part of the birth of modern horse racing. The history of thoroughbred racing runs deep in Prince George's County and has a strong tie to Belair in the center of the city of Bowie. Belair is recognized as being a great colonial estate where breeding and racing were carried on for nearly 3 centuries, starting in the 1750s. Governor Samuel Ogle of Belair imported several horses, but 3 of these thoroughbred racers put Belair in the forefront of horse breeding: Spark, Queen May, and Selima, one of the most famous horses of her day. A race at Laurel Park is still run in her honor. Governor Bowie was also the president of Pimlico Jockey Club. Over a dinner party in Saratoga Springs, New York, he proposed a race with his dinner guests. He would go on to build Pimlico Track, where the first winner was a horse named Preakness. The legacy continued through the 19th century, but the next round of big winners came in the 1890s with the arrival of the Woodward family at Belair. The Woodward family, owner of Belair in the early 20th century, was well known in racing circles. They had the Belair stables built just down the hill from the main house. The stable housed foals, which would later become famous racehorses, including 2 winners of the Triple Crown, Gallant Fox and Omaha. These 2 horses remain, to this day, the only father and son horses to win the Triple Crown, both in the 1930s. Near to Belair stables are 2 well-known racecourses. Laurel Park was founded in 1911, and the Bowie Racecourse was founded just afterward in 1914. Each of these tracks were 1 mile in length. The Bowie track hosted the first $100,000 race in Maryland. Behind the large stands at Bowie were a small set of railroad tracks built to host special trainloads of race fans. The spur track is today a winding trail through the woods north of Bowie State University. In an attempt to bring more race fans, the Bowie racetrack was renovated in the 1950s and became the first to offer winter races, albeit with the glare of a western winter sun open to the elements. Today the track remains unused with very little indication of the use of the course, except for a covered bridge designed to carry horses from one side of the road at the stables to the track on the other. The Belair stables are a 1-story U-shaped stone and brick building. The original portion of the building is constructed of a local dark brown sandstone 24 inches thick. At the center of the structure is an arch leading into the exercise yard. On the left side of the original structure is the 1923 stablemaster's apartment, still furnished with original furnishings. Inside the stable are a variety of spaces that were used for racing, such as box stalls and storage. The present stable was actively used until 1955. It was acquired by the city of Bowie in 1969 for the purpose of establishing a racing museum and library. The city has restored the stables, and now the museum highlights the accomplishment of horse racing in Maryland, particularly for Prince George's County. For this connection with the unique history of thoroughbred racing, Belair Stables is a Maryland milestone.